Hi everybody and welcome to my channel. This is a new channel I just started. I'm going to try to devote this channel to pretty much all technical instruction. There'll be some computer stuff on here, some electronic stuff, maybe some GoPro stuff, even some auto repair possibly. Today I'm going to show you how to disassemble an HP Envy 15T k000. There's about 28 versions of this computer out there, different iterations of it. This is the k000. This one I ordered directly from HP. I customized it. It's a pretty sweet computer. I've got a Haswell 4710 HQ quad core i7 in it. 16 gigs of RAM, full HD screen. I got the non-touch because I have a laptop or a tablet for that, so I don't really dig touch screens on laptops. And I'm not a big Windows 8 person either, so I got it with Windows 7 Professional. The only problem with this computer, it's a great computer, as you can tell by the specs. It should be a pretty fast computer. The only problem is the only hard drive option that they offer is a 5400 RPM. And to have that hard drive in this computer, as far as I'm concerned, is pretty much like handing you the keys to a Ferrari and telling you to go drive on a 2-lane road in rush hour. So, as one of our fellow YouTubers once said, ain't nobody got time for that. So, I'm going to upgrade the hard drive in this to Samsung 850 Pro, 512 gigabyte, which, if you're familiar with that, is pretty much the top of the line consumer solid state drive that you can purchase right now. So once we get that, we should have the super highway for the Ferrari. So it should be pretty much a beast once I get that thing in there. So anyway, we're going to start by I'm just going to disassemble the back of it. This is pretty straightforward. I've seen some other videos, not on this exact model, but they're kind of saying it's a pain in the butt. I really don't think so. I think the big thing is it can be a little tricky if you don't have the service manual or if you just haven't done anything like this before. The big thing here is the feet here. There's screws under those feet, so you have to remove those in order to access those screws. But once you do that, there's nothing else really hidden. I mean, there's no screws up under the stickers like sometimes they tend to do. And this computer doesn't have an access panel, as you can see. Basically, you just take all of the screws out, you flip it over, and it just swings up with the keyboard and everything. You unhook the ribbon cables, take that off, boom, you have access to your hard drive and all that other good stuff. So I'm going to go ahead and get started taking the screws out here. Basically just 3 tools for this job. This is a number 1 Phillips head screwdriver, pry tool. Highly recommend using a plastic pry tool whenever you're doing anything like this, because metal destroys plastic. If any of you out there haven't taken apart a laptop or a phone or anything like that, try to get yourself a hold of one of these, or if you have a guitar pick laying around, those work great too. But if at all possible, try not to use metal against the plastic because it will destroy it. Okay, so I'm going to start off by taking these pads off. What I'm going to do here, I'm using a small flathead that I typically use in phone repair. and very small electronics. Pretty much what I'm going to do here is you don't want to try not to really wedge against the plastic too much here. Basically just kind of get it in between the plastic and the rubber, and then push against the rubber and lift up, and that should pop right off. And they're in there pretty snug. That one I had off before, so it kind of popped out pretty easy. But I haven't done this one yet, so it's probably going to require a little more effort. But basically, I'm just, as you can see, I'm just putting the screwdriver in between the plastic and the rubber and just pushing up and against the rubber. And see, they're stuck in there pretty good. I take a couple of attempts here. Ah, man. I don't think the other one was stuck that good. So there you go. As you can see there, the adhesive is very good on these feet. So once you put them back, if you press them down pretty good, you shouldn't have a problem. So anyway, that exposes those two screws, and I'll go ahead and take one of these off to let you see what's underneath. Just take that up, and these caps pretty much just pop right up, real easy. When you put it back on, there's two little teeth there, I guess you could say. Put those under first, and then just lay it down, and it should go right back on. So anyway, sorry about that. So anyway, we take that piece of plastic off. I'm just going to leave the screw with the piece. That's always kind of a good idea, I think, when you're doing this kind of stuff. If you can, leave the screw with the piece that it came with. That way you don't have screws all over the place. But as you can see, that exposes another screw. Let's see if we have the same on this side. I'll take this one off. Ooh, it's not popping up as easy as that. There we go. Okay, so take that one off. Once again, leave the screw with the piece. And that also exposes just one more screw. So let's see what we have here as far as screws. We've got one, and these are going to have these little arrows beside them. So just take out the screws that have the little arrow beside of it. So we've got 1, 2, looks like 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So it looks like we have 15 screws total to take out. And I'm going to go ahead and take those out. The first thing you want to do, you can take all of them out, or you can do this first and then take the rest of them out, but you want to remove the optical drive screw, which I've already done. And this optical drive is, I used to just release them and then have the tray come out and then just pull it out with the tray out. But these optical drives are in here really snug. So basically leave it closed, and you want to take something plastic, or I tried to do it with my hand, but these are, in there pretty good. I'll try it again, but they're in there real plugged in real snug. Okay, I got it that time. So just basically, pry it out with it closed. Don't use any metal to push against it. Use your fingers if you can. If you can't, I would have probably used this pry tool just to press it out. Anyway, take your optical drive out, set it to the side, and then just take the rest of the screws out, which I'm going to do right now, and I will be back with you after I get all the screws out. Okay, everybody, I'm back. There were 3 screws before that I didn't mention, and these are these 3 screws over here up underneath the optical drive edge. And let me show you these, because I'm not sure why they did this, because this is pretty crazy, and they do this kind of stuff sometimes. I don't know if I can put it up to where you can see it, but the Phillips head on this thing is absolutely tiny, tiny, tiny. And I tried every Phillips head that I had, and it wouldn't get down in there and grab it. Even the tiniest Phillips head that I had, which I've got some really small stuff, would not work. So what I ended up doing is this is a 1/16 inch flathead. Now, it just so happens that that fits right down into the slot perfectly. So unless you have a 1/16 inch flathead, you're really gonna have some issues getting these out. I mean, you're gonna have to get creative. So anyway, I took them all out, and now I'm just ready to flip this thing over and pop the top on it. Okay, flip her over, raise the lid. Okay, once again, my pry tool. Now, if you do not want to damage this plastic surrounding your computer, do not use metal. Don't use anything metal. Get something plastic, get a guitar pick, get one of these, get a credit card, debit card, anything just not metal, because this is probably pretty thin around here, and if you put something metal on there, you're gonna eat it up. So anyway, I've got like all the screws out, so this should pretty much pop right up. Not too hard, at least it shouldn't. So we're gonna wedge this down in here. Let me get a good one of the good sides here. Wedge that under there. As you can see, or as you can hear, that's popping up pretty good. So what I just want to do is just go around and just wedge it under there, pop it out, wedge it, pop it, go on this side, do the same thing, wedge it up, pop it up, come down here, pop it up, so it's all released. So now it should just come right out. And get your you get a finger under there, get a nail. Okay, this isn't coming up. As you can see, I'm kind of pulling up on it, pulling up over here, it's lifted, pulling up over here. So if you go to do this and you meet any resistance at all, stop. Don't force this thing up, because what this means is I missed a screw. So what we're going to do, I'm going to flip it around, close it down, flip it back over, and see where I missed the screw at. And as you can see here, it looks like I got them all out, but see right here, I thought that was part of the frame or just part of the plastic mold, but apparently, let's check this out. There's got to be a screw. Oh, yeah. Okay. Well, there you go. Little sticky tab there. I honestly thought that it was part of just how the plastic was molded, because really, why would they put all these like this and just make that one different? Doesn't make sense, but that's why we couldn't take that off. So I'm going to pop that screw out, flip her over, take that out. Okay, now this thing should pretty much pop off with no problem, because that seemed like the only thing that was holding it. So we're just going to do this again. Get under here. Pop her up. Go. Okay. And there you have it. Boom. See how easy that came up? And I know with the way the camera is, you guys can't see the cables and stuff, but there's ribbon cables under here. I'm just going to go ahead and take them all out, and then I'll flip this over and show you what I took out. Okay. And that's all the cables. Let me flip this over so you can see it. Okay, now let's see. This is the fingerprint reader, the biometric reader. If you don't have that feature, you won't have this cable. This is for the keyboard light. If you don't have that feature, you will not have this cable. But the three cables that you definitely will have are the mousepad cable, the keyboard cable, and the power button cable. Okay, they're all ribbon cables, and they all have these just make sure you can see this, but these flip up and down yellow cover. So you just flip those up, take the cable out, pull it out, you put them in. Make sure you have them back up in there good. Flip that back down, and they'll stay in place. So that's it. We'll set that to the side. And we've located the hard drive. So this is actually, with the exception of, a couple little things, the heads on these screws being so tiny, everything else, I mean, this is probably one of the easiest take aparts that I've done. I've taken apart a lot of laptops. This one was pretty easy, with the exception of a couple of hidden screws. Okay, so we want to take this ribbon cable out as well to gain access to the hard drive. Flip that back over. I'll just hold it down with the screwdriver. Okay, so now to get our hard drive out, let's see here. We're going to have that that's just pretty much held in there with friction, so we pretty much just take it right out. Okay, has a little piece of tape on over there that's holding it down. Okay, so we can just take this out. This has got a little ribbon cable for the SATA attachment. So there's the old hard drive, and this doesn't even really have screws in it. It just have the little case right there. So we just take those sides off, put them over here. Okay, now we're just going to have to pull this attachment out, this adapter. Okay, just pop that out. Okay, so not only am I doing the SSD swap out here, not only am I gaining a new SSD drive, I'm also gaining an external 1 terabyte hard drive. Now I've got an external case or an external housing coming for this, which will be here probably a few days. So I'll put this in that housing, and I'll have myself a 1 terabyte external drive. Okay, so we got this. Time to break out the SSD. Bam. If you want to check this SSD out, it is pretty much the biggest, baddest thing on the market right now. I'll put a link for it in the description of the video. I'll put a link in there for that, and I'll also put a link in there for the external hard drive housing that I got for this. It's a really good one. USB 3.0, SATA 3. So it's it comes with an an integrated cable. It's not a separate cable, so it's pretty sweet enclosure. Okay, so we just take this, pop it in the new drive. It's going to be a little snug, I guess, since it's new. And don't force anything. If it doesn't, just go right in there. There's, if you've never done this before, just take your time. You never want to force anything in the computer world, because you can really, mess stuff up. Okay, So we're going to put this back on here. This should fit right in here like it did the other one. Nice, look at that. Fits right in. Put this one on. Should fit right in. There we go. Okay, I'm just going to pop this bad boy right down in place. And I think this is pretty cool. These are rubber, actually. So that's I think that's a nice feature because it really, if there's any shock or anything, it really reduces the vibration or the shock on the hard drive. So that's a nice feature. And it does fit down in there pretty nicely. A little bit of help here. There we go. Just have to make sure that those rubber feet are completely down in there, and I'm just using my little screwdriver to kind of help them along. On this end, not so much. Okay. Rehook our ribbon cable. Pop that bad boy back in there. Sometimes easier said than done. There we go. There's two little, I don't know if you can see it, two little lips on there on each side. You want to make sure that those are on the other side of these two little arms coming out. Once it seats down in there, just pop that back over, and boom, your new hard drive's installed. So that's it. I'm going to do a clean installation of Windows 7 Ultimate on this thing. I'm not going to go into that right now. That would be for another video. I just wanted to pretty much just show you how to take this thing apart, you know, pop in the new SSD, and I think that's what we've done. Okay, well, I appreciate you watching. I hope I've helped someone. If this helps one person, then I didn't waste my time here. Leave comments, like if you like it. If you don't like it, I'm open to constructive criticism, so leave any comments that you want to leave. And hopefully I'll be putting some more good videos on this channel. Take care.